hardcore boxing fans out there, how are you doing? Big Porky here, the voice of hardcore boxing, and I hope you've subscribed as well, or I'll be coming to pay you a visit. Just to let you know, Dave Caldwell, that these allegations are not going to go away. This is just the beginning. So I think you need to come out and do an interview. I mean, any other time we can't get you off IFL, Behind the Gloves, Seconds Out, Boxing Social, Fight Eye. We can't get you off YouTube. So you need to come out and answer these allegations. You're more than welcome to come on Porky's Corner. You can do it by Zoom. You don't have to do it in your gym. You can do it by Zoom. And I'll ask you these questions from these lads. Alright? And then once you've answered them, then I'm going to play a card that I've got up my sleeve and put this to bed. Alright? So come out, wherever you are.
I'm Peter Fury, and don't forget to subscribe to Porky's Corner, because I've been a helmet of the month and you need to listen to me. Yeah? So follow him, yeah? And get the fella some followers up, for Christ's sake. He wears his heart on his sleeve, the good man Russ. So follow Porky's Corner, he says it as it is, and you know, I appreciate the helmet of the month, Russ. No problem.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, mate.
Hello all you hardcores out there. It's Harry the Spastic here, the voice of hardcore boxing. Today we're joined by my good friend Rico, who founded Porky's Corner with me 4 years ago today. How you doing, Rico?
Good, thank you, mate. How are you?
I'm all right. It's been a good ride, hasn't it?
I mean, you're fine and alive. That's the main thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm alive. I'm cracking up, like. I put this and I thought I'd jump out window, see if I could fly. I'm going to hit the wall, I think. Get me out of here!
Oh, but it's better than being back in Turkey, isn't it?
Yeah, Max is going to come for me tomorrow and take me to my tailors. So I've got some jeans that I got in Selfridges, and they're too big for me on waist. Get them tucked in.
That's all your clothes these days. That's why you need to wear a dressing gown. The hat's the only thing that fits.
Everything's hanging off me, yeah. I know, yeah.
Unless you got some other work in Turkey done, maybe a boxer's fit as well. Who knows?
Yeah. It's a bit of, it's better than walking about at 28.5 stone, isn't it? I found a photo earlier of me and the Cobra at Ellaby Hall when I was on my 41st birthday. You've seen it?
Oh, I've seen that photo. It's on your wall, isn't it?
Yeah, I was 17 stone heavier than I am now. Isn't that crazy?
Oof.
And he wore, on that day, he was in camp for war, and he wore, I think he had not long to go, but it got put back to December. And he would touching 12.2, always on weight. And I thought 12.2 was me here, 28.5 there. And he's ordered sea bass and whatever, asparagus. And I'm there with my pint of full fat lemonade. I'm not having out to eat. I don't need to with this at about 8,000 calories. I don't recognise myself now. I've still got some tracky bottoms somewhere. I could get in one leg.
Yeah, probably. I mean, you're looking like you'd be ready to take on Canelo. You're probably around the same height, so you and Canelo, that could be the All Yorkshire Derby.
Yeah, me and Canelo, that'd be good, wouldn't it? Because Steffi Bull's not going to step up to the plate, is he?
Yeah. Oh, Steffi would if he could bet on him. If he could bet on himself going down in the first round, but I'm sure everybody else would be betting on that.
Well, it won't be the first time that's happened, would it?
No. And especially when you start exposing yourself on Twitter, that's just not a smart move, Steffi, is it?
Steffi twerk. What did you think to that twerk video, Rico?
There's some things in life that you just want to unsee, and that's part of those memories.
Yeah. Is it not on your bucket list then, Rico, to do a Steffi Bull twerk?
I mean, it's never even crossed my mind, if I'm being honest. But yeah, each to their own.
Yeah, well, Wilder did one, didn't he? But nobody said out to him, did they?
Yeah, but you know what? Wilder was actually like, he was trying to dance somehow, where Steffi did it very seductively in a weird way. And it looked like it wasn't the first time Steffi'd done that.
I know, we have to pray for Steffi's wife, don't we? Having to put up with that on an evening while she's trying to watch Emmerdale. Right then, we'll move on then from the adventures of the gingerbread man.
Gingerbread Chan.
Yeah.
We're not going to go down that route. All right.
There's only one story to start with before we sweep up the weekend's action. Dylan White, aka the Can Man. Anybody who wants it can get it as long as they're over 40. Dylan White's been in the news again. It looks like he's spouting off that he's 4 years without his title shot now. What do you think to that, Rico? Over to you.
I mean, nowhere did it say that you have to fight for the WBC. And also, if you're going to sue a sanctioning body, why would they give you the title shot? Like, surely you know at that point when you're suing them that they're not going to give you something that you're trying to sue for. It doesn't make any sense. It just makes no sense at all. Whoever encouraged him to take that to the course of arbitration effectively knew that they would be stopping him from fighting until the arbitration's over.
Well, I'd like to think that Dylan White's big advisors who he's got around him would have known that, because they're all smart, aren't they? Supposed to be smart men.
But also Eddie should have known that. If Eddie acts as the mouthpiece for all his fighters, right? And he talks about his strong relationships with the WBC. And remember when he said that thing about if Tyson Fury was with him after beating Klitschko, he would have never been in that position where he'd have to vacate because he would have maneuvered and he knows all the rules. Yes, we're having press conferences announcing that Tyson Fury against Dillian White's happening 2 weeks ago. And now, out of nowhere, they find out this arbitration means that they can't fight the mandatory fight, which obviously anybody that knows anything about arbitrations and anybody that's ever had to deal with lawyers would know that. Surely a lawyer would know at some stage, okay, if we do put this into motion, it could mean that you're not fighting, right? It didn't come to anybody as a surprise. It was just Eddie Hearn making up lies yet again, holding press conferences about things that might happen. It's like those AJ against Fury press conferences that we tolerated for years and AJ against Wilder press conferences.
Yeah, it's. Do you feel that people have kind of like worked Eddie out now, the fans, and what he is, and that he's a greedy so and so?
No, not if you're following Twitter, right? Because some of these people still believe everything he says. So
people on Eddie's box, though, aren't they, on a tenner an hour?
Well, it's very different when you're at Sky, right? We know that you've got the power of Sky, you've got the backing, you've got pay-per-view platform. When you're on DAZN that doesn't have many subscribers and nobody watches, your position of power is very different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, think about it from Tyson Fury's perspective. I mean, Dillian White has just signed a deal with DAZN to fight for them exclusively. If you want to make that Tyson Fury fight, surely you shouldn't have signed that deal. You should have seen what the options are, because Tyson Fury is the A side. Tyson Fury would have said, well, we fight on ESPN in the US and on Sky in the UK, and we do the Sky pay-per-view because Sky has an exclusive, they've got a partnership with Top Rank where they air Top Rank content. Dillian White has done everything possible in his team to make this negotiation more difficult and make it even more confusing and make it not happen.
He's a nightmare to work with, I've been told. A total nightmare. Thinks everybody's out to rip him off. Total nightmare. But this is how I look at it. This is the Dylan White story. Got banned for 2 years for PEDs, are we right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, came back, fought a few stiffs, made a bit of noise, got in with Joshua, had a purple purple jacket on at press conference, didn't he? Do you remember
The Joker,
the
the
joke?
villain,
Yeah.
the villain.
Dylan the villain. Jesus. Well, anyway, to cut a long story short, Joshua flogged him. He didn't win a clear round in that fight. He got one lucky punch in, didn't it? And there were a bit of afters after.
Second round, yeah, and then everybody jumped in, Dean and everybody else.
Round or second round, wanted a bit.
Second round, yeah.
What's that about? That don't mean that you're not scoring points for trying to punch somebody after battle. Blah blah blah. So, in my opinion, he got put into orbit by Joshua. And Barry Hearn, did you see him after? We'll probably see that fight again. What a fight and blah. Listen, mate, it was a one-sided beat down. Am I right?
It was two novices swinging at each other, and they built on the amateur victory. And essentially, Dillian had no proper training. His gas tank had gone, and it was like getting Joshua in was a game club fighter at that point. But we must give Dillian credit for improving from that point.
That's come on from that. He went 11-0 with Mark Tibbs, didn't he?
Yeah, but there was no impetus from his side to ever actually take any of the big fights. Did he go to Bulgaria to fight against Pulev?
No, he didn't, man. I've seen all sorts of emails and text messages regarding all that kind of carry on. Let me tell you this, mate. That was a shambles, mate. He didn't want the fight, but they didn't win the purse bid anyway. But once they didn't win the purse bid, he were not going to want the fight even more. But I think if he won purse bid, might put a bit of pressure on him to fight Pulev. But they put a low baller in, didn't they?
Yeah.
They blew him out at water, Pulev's team, for that. And Eddie had $1 billion at the time, didn't he?
Probably, yeah. I mean, he's had $1 billion for a while. All that money is going towards Mikey Garcia and all these other guys, milking him.
Well, look, this is how I look at it. Mikey Garcia, I don't rate him, mate. Never rated him.
Oh, you did rate him?
No, I didn't.
Back in the day.
No. Would you remember in 2018?
Well, you did say Josh Taylor would beat him.
3 years ago and 3 months ago, and I got slated, didn't I?
True.
Well, I didn't say a time when he beat him. Taylor's
Porky Damas.
Porky Damas. Well, getting back to Dylan White, anybody who wants it can't get it, it appears, because he's pulled out more fights than God knows what. And he just pulls out of fights, you know, or it creates problems behind the scenes. WBC are probably sick to death of him. And I think he's the boy that cried wolf, because now it's come to end game and he wants the Fury fight, or he's saying he does.
Yeah, of course the Cam man wants it. I think in general, you can go up the rankings of multiple sanctioning bodies, and that's what you do. You're not putting all your eggs into one basket, are you? No. Especially if you know that Tyson Fury and Wilder have an arbitration and rematch clause and everything else. So why would you just wait around? Why wouldn't you go for force the IBF mandatory? Why wouldn't you take that Joshua fight at 6 weeks notice that Andy Ruiz took at Madison Square Garden? Why wouldn't you do that? There's no real... I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand whether he just wants to milk the money and, you know, he wants to make sure that he's on pay-per-view in these tough fights. But I think this is all justice for the Otto Walling thing, which I thought was disgusting personally. I mean, the guy was a day from flying to the UK and they pull out less than a week to go, and, you know, he's lost the money, and then they don't even give him the rematch. They say, oh, we're going to go for the Tyson Fury fight instead. I thought that was just disgusting and poor behavior from Matchroom and Dillian White. And I think the chickens have come home to roost here. And thankfully, the WBC have, for one, stuck to their rules and given him a little slap in the face. And let's see where Eddie comes out when... let's see if IFL asks the questions from me. Let's see if IFL say, Eddie, why has Dillian only gone on one route? Eddie, when did you know that when the arbitration went in, that you weren't going to get this? Why did we have a press conference a few weeks ago? You know, all this other stuff. There's so many questions to ask around that.
Why ain't Dylan White in IBF rankings or on other governing bodies? Why does it have to be at WBC?
Well, because he's a blocker for Joshua, isn't it? That's why.
He had a chance to fight Joshua at Wembley, didn't he? In front of 90,000 people for 4 belts in a trilogy. I mean, that's the holy grail, isn't it? Wembley, heavyweight title, and all them belts, and a grudge match and a trilogy, and millions of pounds you're going. Isn't that what you're in the sport for? Because what can he get that's better than that offer? What he got offered a few years, 2.5 years ago. What could he get that were better than that? I mean, I was baffled, Rico. I still am. Dylan, I'm baffled.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what the plan has ever been with Dillian White, and only him and his team know. Maybe it's just to milk the public and, con the people that are willing to pay their pay-per-views. But now that he's at DAZN, there probably will be pay-per-view soon, but the money's not going to be at the same level.
Yeah. Oh, no. It's and if they don't do pay-per-view, they're not going to be able to pay.
Well, they will do pay-per-view, but who's watching DAZN? I mean, have any of your mates, star casual boxing fans, ever even heard of DAZN?
None of my people around here who I know and grew up with have not even heard of ITV, mate.
BBC and Channel 4.
Yeah, well, yeah, Channel 4, 1980, wasn't it? But no, they've got radios where I live, mate, and flares. They don't walk to school, they hover. Like I did in my Farrah's, 1983, going up to school. Oh, yeah.
What with the bike? What was it? The pink handles, or what did he have? The bike?
Cow horns.
Yeah.
Load of bollocks. I never had cow horns. It's just a fucking fraudulent rumor. But I did have flares, and when I got to school, they were brand new, and I thought, fucking cool here in my flares, and no fucking else had them. I was like, what?
Oh.
Can you imagine it? Edlington Comprehensive in flares.
What's that? 1980s.
Or Bay City Rollers, like that. But I was looking at them in classroom, and I thought, what's everybody looking at here? You have them desks, wooden desks.
Yeah.
You don't have them in junior schools, do you? And I tried to open one day. What's that smell? It's fucking Ubba Bubba, isn't it? Or Bubbalicious chewing gum, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think I've told this story before. It's the first time I ever saw a drawing with this big black marker pen. And he had this little bloke stuck there like a stick man. He had this big, it looked like a missile in his hand. I thought, what's that? It was either a torpedo or a missile or a submarine. Then it had an arrow and it said John Lowe Dart. That tickled me. That were on first day. I thought, oh, this is going to be all right, isn't it? Then everybody's looking at me. What are they looking at me trousers for? Then I looked at theirs, didn't I?
Oh, you looked at something like the village people, straight out the village people.
It were all drain pipes in them days, wasn't it? And obviously, my mum would obviously seen these Farrah's in sale.
You know what? You never want to be ahead of fashion or behind fashion when you're that age. Just stick to the most normal clothing you could have.
I shot home, I was like, oh, get over to that woman's over there with that sewing machine, man. Get them tuck in, and I am not going up there again. Anyway, a little bit of comedy.
But you know what was weird at school? People that used to draw in the bathroom cubicles, they used to tag their names and write stuff.
Yeah.
I always found that really weird, even as a kid. Yeah, like
True and Malt. True.
Porky was here. Porky was here. It's like great.
I used to get a spray can.
Oh, you know what? Spraying is like, that's hard to do. I mean, spraying is hard.
No, you just got to go about letters twice, mate. No, it's done, isn't it? Right. So Dylan White, he's not going to get the fight. If I were Dylan White, this is what I'd do. I'd sit him down if I was his advisor and say, look, you've got to fight Wallin now. You've got to go back and say, look, can we do a deal with Wallin? And you're going to have to make the pot sweeter and put some extra money in pot for Wallin and just get on with it. Or you're going to be parked up waiting for Tyson, because it could be 9 months to a year before this is dealt with. And then what if Tyson has another fight in interim, gets a cut or injured, or decides to go AWOL for another 6, 7 months or 20 months? Dylan White could be 36, 37 pushing, couldn't he? So I think get Wallin, fight Wallin, and the WBC, didn't they say if the winner of Wallin White fights Fury? But how could Wallin be in like an final eliminator? Because he's not
even ranked in the top 15, is he?
So when I seen it, I went, well, straight
I
on.
mean, this whole thing stinks. It absolutely stinks. It feels like the whole Walling thing was a con initially. I mean, I didn't see the WBC say that if you fight Walling, you get Fury. The only person I had saying it is Eddie Hearn, right?
Yeah.
I think this whole thing stinks.
Yeah, this is how I look at it though. They've got to do a damage limitation job on this now and try and put it right. They've got to go at WBC. This is what they've got to do. They've got to do a Steffi Bull, haven't they now? Like we Eddie. You've got to go cap in hand, mate. Please, Eddie. Can we have some more, sir? Well, they've got to go to WBC now with begging bowl. So look, forget all this solicitor bollocks because they'll be on retainers anyway. Look, they won't be on hourly rate. Forget all this lawyer stuff. Get Otto Walling. We'll sweeten pot and let's get this fight on. And can you then say the winner of it definitely gets Fury? Because if not, Eddie's not going to want him fighting for them other 4 belts, is he? If Joshua wins them, if Joshua don't win them, Usyk's not going to go to Eddie now. He's probably going to go with Aram, isn't he, or Heyman? If he beats.
Well, I'd say just speak to Bob, see if they can make the deal, leave Matchroom, have the fight over in the US. Because if you drop the arbitration, if you're under one roof, Bob can guarantee that.
Yeah, and this is how I look at it, right? Why are people so afraid? People keep asking me, why are people so afraid to leave Eddie? And let me tell you this, because once Eddie starts working with you, he starts chipping away in your ear. Listen, I don't bother with anybody who speaks to other promoters. Once you've gone from me, you're gone. I'm like Man United. When you leave here, it's all down.
Unless you're Amir Khan.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you this. Well, Amir Khan was a multi-millionaire anyway. Didn't you 2 fucks for Eddie? But that's how Eddie speaks. So people are frightened. So back up. Not so long ago, 18 months, whatever it were, 2 years. Dave Allen, Dubar. Dave Allen got asked if he wanted to fight Dubar, and he got invited to a show. He took his mates. What was first person he rung and told? Eddie Hearn. Why would he need to do that? He never had a deal with Eddie Hearn. He's a free agent, and he was offered more money than what he'd ever had in any fight, and he'd just been in with Price, hadn't he? So why would he want to go, Eddie? I'm just letting you know, even though I'm a free agent, that I'm in talks for the bar fight. What do you think? Think we should take? I should take it. He then goes on his social media and says he wants to be loyal to Matchroom. Why would Dave Allen say that when they put him in with Ortiz when he were a novice with 10 fights? What a novice Ortiz should have been fighting Joshua. So why would he care for Eddie Hearn? Why would he say, I want to show my loyalty to Matchroom? What the fuck is he on? You go and take that Dubar money and the crumbs after, because there were other fights, weren't there, if you'd got beat by him to cushion soften blow, a bit like getting relegated from Premier League. Why would he do that? Because now he's got his head in his hands and he can't get over it now, can he? So he wants back in. But he'd have been out at game, ahead of the game. He'd have clocked the game, wouldn't he, if he'd have took the bar fight?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean,
he'll be punching the page till he's 40.
Agreed. It's not, I mean, too many people think there's loyalty, but this loyalty is very one-sided by Matchroom. When you lose, you're off, right? Nobody cares about you, but they still won't go with Frank. They still won't work with, in the hope that Eddie gets in touch with them.
But it works both ways. When I was with Dennis, Dave Allen didn't want to work with Dennis, right? Once he had nowhere to go, what happened?
He's with Dennis.
Tell you what happened, mate. He went back like
that. Jason Cunningham, was he a Steffi fighter?
Still is.
I signed with Frank Warren, so he's probably not with Steffi.
Ever. He's got a European title.
I don't think he'll be working with Steffi because Steffi doesn't work with Frank Warren.
No. Well, you got to look at it like this. Jason Cunningham will get beaten in his first European title fight unless they match him correctly. He fluked that belt, and you have to give Steffi Bull credit.
Well, Steffi is at least on the press release. He's there talking about, being the manager. But yeah, I wonder whether he's involved.
He should be involved, surely. He should be involved.
Oh, he'll be involved in a corner, but you know how it is.
He should be involved, but I don't think he does many tickets, Cunningham. I don't think he does many tickets. But
well, you don't need to do many to be on a Frank show.
No, they'll get 10 fights on at York Hall, won't they?
I'm not sure whether he can get 10 at the moment. Is he 8 fights or how many is it?
Nick Hennessy's just put 11 on the other night.
No,
He
maybe
won
it's
9 for
changed.
ages, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Maximum. But no, I just think that Dylan White, he's got to go cap in hand. And I know it's hard, but listen, 97% of them are whores anyway, so who fucking cares, mate? They'll do it. Listen, mate, I've seen people.
It's your career. You have to look after yourself. You can't be bothered about.
That's Dave Allen. That's why I'm so angry about him knocking that Warren fight, the bar fight back on a Warren show, because it's a short career. But if his problem was he fell in love with Eddie Hearn, and he thought everything he said were gospel. But this is how I look at it. Eddie said, ask him for this much. So he asked for an even bigger number. And he said no. And he said, knock it back, he'll come back. Well, Warren didn't go back to the table. Right. So then Dave said, oh, well, I'm going to fight so and so on. And Darren Barker didn't want to train him for that fight because there was no money in it for him, but he would have had a good chunk off at the bar fight and all PR, wouldn't they? And this is why then down there at Essex are ruthless cunts, mate, doing that to somebody from Doncaster. Dave Allen should not want to work with them people ever again. But what was I said to you there? They've got to go like that because they don't want to go get a fucking job, do they?
Yeah, we don't see that friendship between Darren Barker and Dave Allen anymore, do we?
Fuck, man. They might say the mates and all that, but I don't really care. And to be honest with you, I'm not all that fucking bothered about Dave Allen. I'm just treating him as a fighter, not a fucking mate. But I don't want to see fighters abused. Do you know?
Yeah.
What I mean? I don't get too fucked about them, to be honest. All that shower, because they all say one thing and do another, right? When it suits them. And they're whoring themselves off in front of you. I can't have people around me like that. Fucking cringe. I can't do it. I can't do it, mate. But, like people saying, it's a fucking tired old saying. It is what it is. Because these people, like I've just said, not going to get a fucking job, are they? So what they do, they whore themselves. And then, well, look, Dave Allen's retired, hasn't he? We're talking like Scooby-Doo 18 months ago. But now he's fucking stronger, faster, quicker than a speeding bullet.
It's like David Hay 2.0. The only thing he needs to do is to eat kangaroo meat.
Yeah. Well, you might even fuck what lion after his lion bars.
Yeah.
Let's just hope he don't get his brain scrambled. But how Eddie Hearn treated him was poor, mate. Very, very poor. He don't owe him fuck all. He doesn't owe Eddie Hearn fuck all. And if he gets another offer like that, he should go with his gut instinct, not fucking go running to them saying, I want to show loyalty to Matchroom. Fucking hell, yeah. Matchroom showed him some loyalty, didn't they? Getting his fucking brains splattered. And his tongue, didn't his tongue after Ortiz fight? I saw it.
Yes, split completely. Ugh.
That thick with that gel stuff all the way right. Like that, like fucking Daffy Duck. Fucking bad. That's the dark side of the sport, mate. But it's not Eddie Hearn in there, is it? Taking blows. And it's like I keep saying, listen, and I always say it to young fighters, listen, the promoter won't give two fucks about you when you're 40-year-old and you're walking down Wheatley Hall Road, Doncaster, to a fucking bus stop. They'll just drive by and give you a wave. They won't fucking pick you up. So don't be tucked in by promoters.
Boxing's the closest thing we have to male prostitution.
Of course it
in
is.
the sense that
Of course it is.
In the sense that, you know, the boxing promoters are the pimps, or the managers are the pimps, and the promoters run the brothels, and, you know, the fighters are the workers, right? And once they're useless, they get discarded. But one thing doesn't change: the pimps are always making money, and, you know, the brothel's always full.
But in last 10-year fighters, well, maybe 8 to 10-year fighters have had a bit of power. So they've started to
depends what level you get to.
What fights are we getting, mate? How many fights do we go at UK that we're fucking raving about? Right? Out of all the thousands of fights, how many do we rave about? Or the hundreds of good fights? So the fighters are not taking the fights. The fighters employ the manager, employ the promoter. If the fighter says, I want to fight him, and they speak to other boxers and he says, I want to fight you, they have to fucking make it happen. They have to do it, mate. If not, what the fuck are we watching this sport for?
I don't think the fighters are the problem. I think it's the managers. I think it's the managers because the managers want to keep the cash coming in. So let's say you're the manager of Conor Ben, right? Let's use him as an example. So you his manager trainer Tony Sims, or I think he's managed by Charlie Sims. Anyway, same family, right? Would you rather keep on making?
Shit houses that lot.
But would you rather keep on making 100 grand every fight against easy opponents, or risk it all and get twice the money and lose? I think most fighters are happy to fight against everyone that's put in front of them because that's part of the thing. But it's the managers around them and the trainers because they know they gain a good slice of the money and the income's regular. That's more important.
I don't agree with you because what about fighters that manage themselves?
Well, those are two. There's not many of them. There's only a few of them.
Manages himself.
Yeah, but Dillian White's are different. We're talking about the creme de la creme here of British boxing. Yeah. Like Dillian White has pay-per-view money to consider other things. Even Conor Ben's a creme de la creme, but it's very different when you're small hall and, you know, when you're sort of English and British level. Like you get offered these fights and if you don't take them, you're out of the picture, right? Like these small hall guys, you might get one or two offers and sometimes you have to take them in bad circumstances and the cards are stacked against you. Unless you're an Olympian or, you know, a star Matchroom, the cards tend to be stacked against you.
Yeah, it's well, we need to get the fights on. That's what I think. So Dillian White's not going to get the Fury fight, not this year, and it doesn't look like next year either, does it?
No, you know what? I didn't really want that fight. I didn't think White deserved that fight.
No, I didn't. What's he done to deserve that? He's just been put into orbit last year by Povetkin.
Yeah, and then he brings Povetkin back from COVID after he's been hospitalized to Russia and then beats him. I mean, come on. Yeah. Should we talk about WBC convention, the other big news, which is Canelo wanting to step up to cruiserweight to fight against Mukabu. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think Canelo's a cherry picker. Why ain't he cleaning up at 175 first? He doesn't offer beat a beaver fight, does he?
I think it's legacy. I mean, look, I don't think fighters need to. They don't need to go up every level, clean up every level. I think he's accomplished so much that at this point in his career, it's his right to fight against whoever he wants and enhance his legacy. I think it's more impressive. Like history will remember him being a 5-weight world champion if he beats Mukabu. I mean, coming up from light middleweight all the way to cruiserweight to win a title, right? That's going to be more impressive than saying that he cleaned up in this and this division. I'm not sure anybody's done that coming up. Well, in the modern era, obviously back in the day, you had all these guys did it. So, you know, the Archie Moores and all these guys. But Roy Jones went up from middleweight to heavyweight, which is sort of equivalent, right? But that's what we remember. We remember Roy Jones for that thing, right? That's the thing that we always remember him for.
Yeah. Well, I think it's an easy fight for him because I think I don't rate him. I don't rate him at all. Bellew beat him, so he can't be that good. But I'll tell you what a fight I would like to see: Usyk and Canelo at cruiserweight.
I think that's probably a step too far for Canelo.
Well, you never know, do you?
I mean, Canelo's picking him because he's quite short, right? He isn't the biggest cruiserweight, but I don't think we need to get boxers to go up all these weight classes until they get beat. I mean, Canelo's giving away, he's giving away a bit of reach and height, but not like ridiculous amounts.
So he'll be light, middle, super middle, light, heavy, cruiser, 5-weight world champion then, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would he go to heavyweight, do you think, if right fight were there?
No chance. He's too small. He's not even a big super middleweight.
No.
I mean, Usyk has 5 inches on him in height, and Usyk's not a big heavyweight, and he has 8 inches on him in reach. I mean, that's just too much, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. What do you think to Boazzi pulling out with an hand injury? Do we care?
I thought it was a good fight for Buatsi, but it's again these British fighters and pullouts, and what next? He needs to come back on an easy fight to recover from the hand injury.
Yeah.
I think it's just disappointing. I mean, yeah, fighters do get injured in camp, but I hope to see if he does come back, that he comes back and fights at the same level. There's none of this, oh, you know, he needs to be eased in. Remember, Shakur Stevenson was in the same Olympics as him and he's younger. Look how much Shakur Stevenson has achieved in the same time period.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'll tell you what's embarrassing. Chris Lloyd sharing those messages. Christ.
What messages were that?
He was sharing some WhatsApp messages that Buatsi had sent him where Buatsi said, oh, I've injured myself, my hand and stuff. But on top of that, there was points where he was saying, where Buatsi had said, oh, thanks for the analysis. And, you know, it was basically saying, the message was saying, look, Buatsi thinks I'm such a clever guy. And here he proves that he's injured because he sent me a WhatsApp saying that he's injured for the fight. So everybody must believe that he's actually injured himself. I'll send them to you afterwards. But, you know, all these analysts inserting themselves into the comments, it's embarrassing. Grown men.
Fucking grown men. That Chris Lloyd's a fucking bum-licking hula hooper. Right, we spoke about him. We spoke about Gingerbread Man Canelo. Mick Ennis's show. Fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah, let's just go once back to Canelo. One more thing. What did he make of Barry Hearn, Bazza Hearn, pretending that Canelo's a matchroom fighter? You know, sharing that photo, the photo of Eddie and Canelo. You've probably seen it, right? Where Eddie's rocked up there and he goes to the after party. And obviously Canelo has a photo where they've worked together. He's made a lot of money through Eddie. And Barry Hearn tweeting that, oh, you know, they are fighters, and you know we look after our fighters, and my fighters are like my family. And Barry Hearn pretending that Canelo is a matchroom fighter.
Canelo's a free agent. He's with nobody. He's a gun for hire, and they're all
he does what he wants.
They're all vying for his business, aren't they? Eamon, Eddie Hearn, Aram.
Yeah. But why would he ever fight on DAZN?
Oh, Canelo.
Yeah, like why would he fight on DAZN again? He made a lot more money fighting on Showtime than he fought on DAZN.
Yeah, but he has fought on DAZN before, though, hasn't he?
Yeah, but again, now looking at things, right? He's just beat an American guy, grow his profile. What's the point of fighting against somebody on DAZN? Yet another Brit, or you know, Eddie. I'll bring John Ryder against Canelo.
Eddie's serving up more British fighters to Canelo. Like Eddie cares about John Ryder. Jeez.
I mean, Billy Joe Saunders had a point during the whole build-up between Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo that Eddie's got a massive conflict of interest. He's there buttering up Canelo while pretending to have Billy Joe Saunders' interests at heart.
Well, that's what a snake is, isn't it? But nobody's going to say it because he's the man with all the sweets, isn't he? He's the man in the corner shop in the 1960s with all the bubbling machines and all the bonbons, Mars bars, a lot. He's got all the sweets. And there isn't a shop for miles. They might be a nut of cunt. And nobody's going to say out, are they? He's got the sweets. Nope. You know what I mean? They might give it that to the mates. They daren't say it on the social medias because what are they going to do? They're not going to get a fucking job, are they?
And who's going to ask the questions? Well, everybody needs their press pass, don't they?
Yeah, that's it. Nobody's going to say a word. They're just going to put their heads down. And there's a lot more serious things going on in boxing than Eddie Hearn and fighters, as you know, stuff behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to say, oh, rock the fucking boat. I do. And fucking nobody can stop me. But nobody else is going to say, oh, are they? They might, like I said, they might. But they're not going to. And this is fucking what's wrong with sport. It puts me off. In fact, it puts me, I feel like saying, you know what? Fuck it. Because I've got offers to do other things that's fucking lucrative, but I've stuck with it, haven't I? But it's got to change boxing in the next 12 months, Riku. I'm telling you now. It's got to change.
I felt like they used the pandemic as an excuse not to put out good fights. And now you look at it and they're not doing good fights. Look at the US. We've got Bud Crawford against Sean Porter this weekend. Two big promotional outfits in massive conflict with each other, yet they can put on a decent fight. They managed to put on Fury against Wilder 3 as well this year. It seems like the US are steaming ahead, whereas the UK are stagnating. We've got how many male world champions? 3 or 4? We don't have any good fights. Yeah, we don't even have, 3.5, exactly. We don't even have any good fights that are being made here. I'd say Liam Williams against Chris Eubank Jr. is probably the best fight that's been made recently, which is an all-British fight.
Where's the Joshua Fury fight? Where's White Fury or White Joshua rematch?
Well, exactly.
Where's Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall, America versus England?
Where's Billy Joe Saunders against Callum? Where was that 12 months ago? Where's Callum Johnson against Yard? Actually, Yard against Lyndon Arthur's a good fight.
But look, against Johnson.
What's the common denominator here? Which fights are being made and which fights aren't? Who's not involved in the fights?
Yeah.
Exactly. Everything seems to be. Every other promotional outfit can make these big fights, regardless of TV networks, everything else. Even here, we've got Boxer and Frank Warren working together to make fights, but Eddie Hearn's the only guy that doesn't make these fights.
And the reason I think is because nobody wants to talk about this topic because all media are in his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Or they lose access. Why ain't none of these other YouTubers letting rip like I do, and you can count them on that hand who are anti-establishment. Where's everybody else? Why aren't they doing?
What, you, Terry, Ultra Boxing Asylum?
Yeah, and there's another one. I'm trying to think who that is, but I think there's 5. Nobody else is saying nothing, right? They're putting their heads down and just getting on with it. But the sport's dying on its ass. Can you imagine life without boxing? Oh, you might. Yeah.
But you know what? I think Sky and Box is a positive development because now they're going head to head with DAZN for the Conor Benn card versus the Eubank Jr. Liam Williams card, which isn't on pay-per-view, it's on normal Sky. And also, I think Eddie never realized how important Sky was for his operations. He's not getting any of that cross promotion. So the only people that know that these cards and fights are happening are those that are on IFL like us or, follow him on Twitter, but you're not getting the same thing. Whereas actually you're looking at what Boxer are doing. They're trying to do something a bit different. They're doing decent cards. I just don't understand how their model works. But in any case, Sky promoting somebody else, Eddie pretty much realizes that it's all been a massive sort of Ponzi scheme, and the bottom's falling out at the moment.
That's what it is, isn't it? It's a Ponzi scheme, isn't it? What's gone on? They've done that to DAZN. They're going to take over America. Got all these big offices and all that, and they give it the big build up, big launch parties and all that, and all YouTubers hula hooping him that far up his arsehole. They're eating his
game changed. The game has been changed.
Game changed. Yeah, fucking hell, for worse. All that carry on, and what's happened? What has he delivered? Baba, utter baba. And
now they can't even use the pandemic as an excuse because fans are there, right? They can't say, "Oh, we can't put on these shows."
You've got problems when you've got Eddie Hearn's men running around Sheffield, right, at 7 o'clock at night, giving tickets out for free. And he's running around saying there's 3,500 in arena. 2,550. That's what they were. Just over 2,500. Eddie's got his sums mixed up again.
Who's going to check him on those?
Everybody in area knows how many were there, and he'd been knackered if he went for Steffi Ball because he did loads of tickets for that. Look, with his fighters on there, he'd been knackered without Steffi. But telling you, mate, the game has changed, yeah. And you know what's cost him? Like you just said there, Sky, because you're not picking up stragglers on night, are you?
No,
that you'd do 1,000 on a Saturday, 1,000 people. if you put the word out and it was on Sky and that, people say, you know what, we're going out at boxing, look what's on, have a night out at boxing. He's missed that, and in his own greediness, trying to get in with DAZN, he's forgot about everything else, because people who are greedy are easy to work out, aren't they? You see them coming, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're watching Sky Sports, you're sort of into boxing. Social media is not feeding. You follow Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn, a few others, but you're not like a super boxing fan. You maybe follow more football. You might get a few DAZN promoted tweets sent to you, but in general, you'll never know this stuff happened. And actually, when they were on Sky, they'd constantly be advertising on Sky. It would be on Sky Sports News. It would be during the football, so you knew this fight was happening. So you'd think, oh, it's in my local area. I might just pop there, or speak to somebody before the events that that's a boxing fan and bet about it, and they might say it's a good fight. So you might be, actually, I'll go there. Was it DAZN? It's like if a tree falls in a forest, nobody hears it. Does it make any noise? And that's what DAZN is. Like, all this stuff is happening, but nobody's watching, nobody's subscribing, no one cares. So no one's going to come there to these shows.
So let's get down to nitty gritty. What did you think to show Sheffield weekend?
I think other people have said this here, Chow. It was like a decent show on paper for what Eddie has in his stable. I think the matchmaking, not Kiko Martinez against Galahad, but I think between Terry Harper and Baumgartner was really poor. Terry's coming off an injury. Baumgartner's a big puncher, confident fighter. And I think that matchmaking was terrible, absolutely terrible. Kiko Martinez against Kid Galahad. Kid Galahad winning that fight easily, but he comes back in straight lines and he leaves his chin open. So, yeah, I think that was going to happen at some point in his career. He's a skillful fighter and he can come back. But I think in general, we're talking about pretty poor shows compared to 4 or 5 years ago. We're talking about pretty terrible shows.
Do you think that under any normal circumstances, Steffi Bowler would refuse that fight? Because it's Eddie, it feels like you've got to keep him happy.
Yeah, I mean, look, you need to protect your fighter. I mean, she's coming off a long injury, so you'd probably want a easy voluntary defense, or figure something out, because and also
wasn't a mandatory though, was it?
No, that's what I mean, an easy voluntary defense. So you get an easy voluntary fight, somebody that's ranked and somebody you can beat and get the ring rust off, and then do another camp and hopefully be out in February fighting against her.
Yeah. Do you think they'll take rematch?
Well, I'm not sure Terry would want to take the rematch, but I think she'll be pushed to do it. I think it would be, when somebody gets brutally knocked out, particularly in women's boxing, which is quite rare, you mentally going into that ring frightens, and, she didn't really get that many rounds and her confidence will be at a low. So I think in her case, it's so easy to win titles in women's boxing that she shouldn't take it.
Yeah, that's what I think, can be saved for another day. We're not going to do
move
that.
up a division, move up a weight, and don't take it. That's what I'd do. If she's tight in the weight, just move up.
Do you feel that she'll take the fight, and if she's struggling at the beginning of it, they'll just throw towel in?
Probably, yeah. I mean, look, she could move up. You've got Katie Taylor, Natasha Jonas, Melissa St. Bill, Estelle Mosley, Tony Oka's wife there. So you've got names that you could put in. We could have decent fights with a lightweight. So she could easily move up. But I don't see why she needs to stay down there. And what if she beats Baumgartner? Who does she fight? Delphine Persoon, Michaela Mayer, Maiva, whatever her name is, that force against her.
Yeah,
Force against. Yeah. she'll be in trouble in that division.
Yeah. Okay. Billum Smith, what do you think?
It was just a run out for him, wasn't it? He's a good fighter. I think he's good like domestic level, but he might get to European level, but I don't see him progressing much beyond that. But yeah, he's a good fighter, but it was a good sort of run out fight. I don't think it was anything that we should be too impressed with. When you're fighting against these French guys that are coming off a loss, it's not that impressive. It's a weird fight, in my opinion.
Galahad versus Martinez, pushing 36-year-old Martinez. What did you think, Rico? We all got it wrong, didn't we?
Well, we did, but I still maintain that 9 times out of 10, Galahad wins the fight. I mean, Martinez, I don't know, he's pretty crude, and surely Galahad would know how to beat that style, but, these things happen. I don't think he should have been let out the corner. I think it was bad corner work. You shouldn't let him out the corner. He was glazy-eyed. He wasn't responding. You send him there to be knocked out. And I don't care whether people say that, the champion must be given a chance to defend his title. At the end of the day, your trainer's job should be to look after the welfare of your fighter. And, the way how Galahad was sparked out was always coming after that first knockdown.
Do you think his training were right to send him out for the last round?
No, I just said no, definitely not. Should have pulled him out. Galahad wasn't responding in the corner. He was glazy-eyed. He had all the signs. When you look at somebody that's out on their feet, he had all the signs of that. And when he came out, he was out on his feet.
He knew he was just waiting to get knocked out, wasn't
he? Yeah.
Strange. It was strange. You think he'll leave Flex?
Nah, it's too rooted. It's too rooted. Some fighters you just can't. I mean, what's the point of leaving Ingle anyways? Like, what's he going to go somewhere else? And
yeah,
he's probably got a system. He lives around there. He trains there. He's so comfortable within that gym and that system that I couldn't see him settling anywhere else.
Yeah, maybe maybe they just both had a bad night at office, or maybe it's all right because what's his body of work?
Yeah, I think Booker Conclair is probably a good win, decent guy. Aside from that, you're looking at quite domestic level. I mean, the Warrington fight, I had him winning, but he didn't get the decision, so it doesn't matter. But you're looking at sort of domestic fringe world level. But Kiko Martinez isn't at his level. Let's be clear about that. Kiko Martinez would have got beat by anybody else in that division that's in the top 10, I'd say. But it was a bad night in the office. But also, based on that performance, I wouldn't want Galahad anywhere near Navarrete, for example, or Ray Vargas, Isaac Dogbo either. Lee Wood would be an interesting fight. But even somebody like Mauricio Lara, who beat Warrington, they drew. He'd cause Galahad big problems.
Do you think that Zelfa Barrett's now in mix because he's got a win over Martinez, hasn't he?
Yeah, but that was a hometown decision.
Well, he was still in there, wasn't it? I mean, it could have gone either.
He was, but let's be honest. I mean, if that fight's in the UK, yeah, then Zelfa had a chance. But I'm talking about like the better guys in that division. Zelfa Barrett's far, far away. He hasn't been impressive over the last few years. Since he actually left Queensbury, he's been pretty terrible.
Yeah, maybe matching is a bit crap. Eduardo's matching.
The matching's been terrible recently.
Ian Church is matching for him now, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. That's why it's Red today on some comments.
Red is left, didn't he? He's set up on his own. He's managing fighters himself, isn't he now?
Well, yeah, Callum Smith and Sandy Ryan and maybe one or two others.
Yeah, I don't see him doing much. He won't fucking much cop at matchmaking. So another fly-by night that blagged his way into boxing.
I was just about to say that boxing's the only sport in the world where you don't need any qualifications for anything, and you're suddenly perceived as an expert.
Like us.
Yeah. But you know what? We're not advising boxers. We are not telling them what to do and not do in the ring like some. We're not advising them about contracts. We are fans that have opinions, and we hold the boxing establishments to account because we want there to be better fights, so that when your kids grow up and kids that age, they will be interested in boxing, and they won't look at it as sport that nobody cares about because boxing has effectively just ruined itself.
Well, it looks to me like it's on life support machine at the moment.
This is the lowest I've seen British boxing since those leisure centre days when Eddie Hearn was promoting initially. This is the worst I've seen British boxing.
Yeah, I've gone back to them days, hasn't it? Well, that's what I think. All them days before about 2001, about that year, 2000, 99 to 01, that kind of time around there. Do you know what I mean?
We rode the wave of the Olympics, didn't we? I mean, we had like Froch, and that was by all time perfect with Froch, Groves at Wembley, and then he had sort of Sky coming properly, and Eddie was a young, fresh-faced promoter. Then he had the class of 2012 coming through, and now all that generation since then, they've all retired. The Groves's, the Frochers,
Gale.
the Gale, so many of them anyways. They've all retired, haven't they? So now what we left was his failed class of 2016 and pretty poor talent all around.
Well, who do you think Fraser Clark's going to sign? Because there's a few whispering in his ear, isn't there?
I think boxer need a heavyweight, so they'll probably just put him there. That would make sense. Remember, 258, he's signed with 258, so
Fraser has.
Yeah, so 258, if you think about what they're probably looking to do, if you're going to keep Joshua and Sky, you probably want to have some undercard fighters there as well, some decent ones there. I like 258 guys.
Joshua looks like he's in it for long haul, doesn't he?
I don't know. It's hard to say, isn't it?
Well, if you were only going to have one more fight, why is he traipsing around America for a new trainer?
Oh, I think his long hauls it's why is the long haul in boxing, right? He's still relatively young for heavyweights, isn't he?
I'm on about he's preparing for his future, isn't he? I mean, if he retires tomorrow, he's got fighters he might start promoting. You don't know, do you?
Yeah. I mean, he's doing the right thing. He's doing the right thing. I don't know how much he's actually involved in the day-to-day operations or whether it's using his branding. So I saw them signing like cyclists. They have 258 cyclists and stuff. I think they're just using Joshua's name to have a management company. And then a bit like Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy. And then what ends up happening is once they retire, they start getting a bit more involved. But, when you had Bernard Hopkins, Oscar De La Hoya, but it's, who is it? Robert Diaz, who's the matchmaker, and he's the brains in the operation. So they probably need a boxing person there, not his cousin or, Freddie Cunningham. They probably need like somebody, if they want to really do boxing properly, they need somebody that understands boxing and knows boxing.
Yeah, interesting. Okie then, Rico. Well, listen, thanks for coming on. We had a good chat, haven't we? My
pleasure. Always good talking about the Can Man. I mean, incredible how everybody's docking him and he just can't get a break, isn't it?
To death of it, aren't they? It's. Are you going on a Bosman transfer to Ultratech now?
Hey, I float between two different platforms, but people need to hear my opinions on a regular basis. You have so many guests that this is always near and dear my heart, but
I might loan you out to Sporting Icons. He could do with some help at the moment, couldn't he, now that Eddie's dropped in?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think yours and Ultra's Charles are fairly similar, so we always have good chats.
Yeah, I like Ultra, even though he doesn't show his face, and I give people stick for that, but at least he comes out and he doesn't take ad money off it, does he? And he comes out and says, I'm not showing my face because I don't want the Black Mitchell brothers at my door. At least it's it. Whereas me, I don't give a fuck. They can knock on my door.
He's the same as you. People sending you threats, but I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? Boxing, people are so tribal that they trying to do stuff so they can say, "Look, Eddie, I shut down this channel. Look, Eddie." Grown men acting like kids. Come on.
They've all tried to shut me down, Rico. I'm untouchable.
Even the Turkish border control couldn't stop you.
Listen, mate, that's what nearly killed me getting through, though, didn't it? You indeed on plane.
Day in the life of the Porky.
I promised Reggie and Ruby, I said, don't worry, I'll be home for my birthday. Well, I made it, didn't I? And you killed me in it process. Funniest thing about it, I kept thinking, God, I thought I've lost loads of weight. My belly seems to be swelling. An hour later, it's getting bigger. Oh, my staples are bursting. Yeah. I tell you what, though, mate, them air hostesses were nice that way back, and I slated them for losing my phone. They shit the pants, Rico, because last thing they want is somebody brown bread on a plane, innit?
Yeah, true.
But anyway, it's a long story way back east, and I'm on the mend. Well, I might be getting out of the house tomorrow. Max is turning up here tomorrow. He's going to take me to my tailor, so a bit of fresh air for me, innit?
Getting the Volvo. Getting the Volvo, mate.
Plated. You know what, that big Volvo thing he's got? God. If there's an hole in the road, right, I said, Max, don't drive over any holes. He's like, yeah, okay. Won't do it, first mile. He finds a big grate like that next to a curb. Drive straight in it, and I bounced up and went, oh, and it starts weeping, doesn't it? I'm like, what I said to you? Because I'm trying my best, pork. You know what I mean? But he means well, and he's a nice kid, and he's coming to take me to my tailor's tomorrow to take some bits and bobs in to get so they fucking fit me. I'll have to buy some new clothes like, but I can buy a full wardrobe. But yeah,
you'll be rocking the mediums on like Terry and I. So
hey, somebody's been in touch with me today. This is a funny story. American guy. What's your channel, Porky? I got a store. So yeah, he's wearing NFL gear. No NFL stuff and that. So, yeah, got some baseball tops. Oh, yeah, if you want to send me some like that, I'm going to send you some baseball tops. That's the sport. If you're getting tired of boxing, so it's going to send me some baseball tops.
Oh, you should get your own baseball top, like a logo. You know the ones that are like big button shirts, and you should get like a Porky on there.
Yeah, I wonder what teams is going to send me.
You know what? Now that you gain a new wardrobe, you should only wear like Porky merchandise.
Yeah, I've got. I ain't got any here. I've got some of them Lacoste tops. I've had a Porky logo put on a few of them, but the merch, I don't do the merch. That's Cameron's little thing that he deals with that. So don't fucking bang any because I'm not getting out of it. But no, some of it's actually good actually, and they do pop bang stuff. You know, pop bang,
pop bang, pop bang, pop bang, pop bang.
So he's done something like that, and just Porky hoodies and
hard road, the hard road.
I ain't got a Porky mug in my house to my name, right? I think Max has took my last Porky mug, but he took one of the original ones, and
I have an original one.
You've got an original one, but so Max has got me the last Porky mug, but I can explain it. I've noticed he's doing Porky mugs on it. So I thought, have a look at this stuff. I mean, it is our channel what we started, isn't it? And I look,
yeah.
And he's charging 30 quid delivered, but so he can't be buying many in. But there's no markup in them by the time you've posted it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the weight, isn't it?
Packaged it and all that. So, but good luck to him because he does all right, and I might be able to get a Porky top off him if I see him. But I said to you, if you want to do it. But you know, I did it with K Official before, and it's time.
I remember. It is
time consuming. Let me tell you, time consuming, and you can't keep everybody happy. And of course, family has to give everybody away. I get all the way, don't I? Me,
yeah.
And before you know where you are. You're not making out, are you? But, you know, if people are interested in buying stuff, get some bought. If not, who cares? It's fucking tax, isn't it? You're not going to wear it in 10 years, are you?
I will.
But, Rico.
I'll wear my porky one.
Have you still got your Lacoste trainers?
I do, mate. I do. But you know what? I need to wear them on a weather. I need to look at the weather forecast because they're white, isn't there? So you have to be like, if it's raining today or if it's damp, I'm not wearing them.
All right, with a pair of jeans, Rico, and the top, aren't they?
Yeah, they're good. Good stuff. Thank you for those.
No problem. Okay.
All right, mate. Let's speak soon. Take care. Everybody like and subscribe and send Porky your well wishes. The king is back. Pork is back.
Yeah, I'm back with a vengeance. I'm Harry the Spastic now.
He's ready for the hard road.
And I'm going to do a 200 kilo deadlift when I get in with me Corey. And I'm not talking about MI5 watching me because they know I'm serious.
All right, on that note, take care, mate. Cheers, everyone. Bye.
Well, that were Rico. Good lad, Rico. Got a good job. Can have a bit of banter. I like how he can speak English better than me. In fact, he speaks English better than Dylan White. And on that note, peace out.
Oops. There you go, Mr. Cordwell. Stop rubbing things out.
You like that one, didn't you? Right, first of all, I just want to say thank you very much for liking and subscribing. It means a lot to me because we're on this journey together, aren't we? So anybody got any ideas for the channel, fire them over to me, porkycorner@mail.com. All right. Shout out to Innovation Alloys and South Yorkshire Packaging. All right. Don't forget to subscribe. Keep on trucking.